I've been to Alaska once on a cruise, and it was great. It was wonderful. Of course, Data Brokers, one of our ops in the chat room at live.pirillo.com, lives in North Pole, Alaska. And during the winter months, he would every once in a while pop in and said it's negative 42. I mean, it gets cold. But I enjoyed my time there. Didn't really spend a lot of time on land, but one of the best experiences I've ever had, at least with Mother Nature, was at Hubbard Glacier. It was just so beautiful. I mean, so beautiful. Oh, I loved it. I'd take another Alaska cruise in a heartbeat. Next time, though, I'd take the Inner Passage. Totally. Totally loved Alaska. I'd totally go back. I just don't totally know if I could totally live there. Totally. I've got a top 5 list here of activities to do when you are in Alaska, if you happen to be going to Alaska, because you're thinking, well, what's there to do in Alaska? Well, lucky for you, we've got another Nomi in Alaska, Daniel, or he goes by the handle Violist in the chat room. He says he watched all the top 5 and he wanted to make one too. He was born in Alaska and wanted to make the top 5 list of things to do in Alaska. Number 1, camping. Alaska is one of the most beautiful places to camp because of the mass population of wildlife. I love the mountains, and in Alaska there are a lot of mountains. And on the special night, you can see the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights are so beautiful, but it only happens when it's really cold and at night. Number 2, cruise. My favorite. Alaska is a lot of things to see, and a cruise is one of the best things you can do if you're visiting Alaska because they know when all the wildlife comes out. And they know where the best places are to visit. They also know the history of Alaska, and it is pretty interesting. Number 3, kayaking. It's a perfect way to explore Alaska's coves and all the different islands that Alaska has. Popular destinations are Kachim Bay. I'm probably going to slaughter these words here. Resurrection Bay, I can do that one. Glacier Bay National Park, and Kenai Fjords. Kenai Fjords National Park. Those are just to name a few. Number 4, Alaska's state parks. Alaska has about 100 state parks across southeastern interior and western Alaska. Denali State Park, to name one, is about 320,000 acres and has a lot of wildlife and a lot to do, and you can see the largest mountain in the U.S., Mount McKinley. Number 5, river rafting. Apparently, Violus loves water sports. It's very fun because you can see caribou, bears grazing, and a lot of other wildlife. The rivers in Alaska flow pretty fast, so it's kind of dangerous because there's a lot of sharp rocks on the rivers. It's just some of the fun stuff that you can do in Alaska. There's a lot of fun stuff like seeing, flight seeing, ecotours, gold panning, bird watching, museums, and more. And I can tell you the things that I enjoyed in Alaska were, I did enjoy the tours. We did a helicopter tour. We did dog sledding, and let me tell you, the best description of dog sledding was Dennis Leary talking about it, because that's really accurate, because you don't realize that when you're sitting in the dog sled, it's fun, but the dogs right out of the gate, they're running, and they don't care what they're throwing back with their paws, so everything they're running on gets thrown back. And when you're sitting down on this dog sled, and you got to understand these dogs have kind of been penned up for a while, so they haven't exactly been... When they gotta go, and they learn to go on the run. And let me just tell you, it's fun, but just be prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. Maybe you've got other Alaska tips, Alaskan cruise tips. You know, we got to prepare for the summer months. Where are you from? You know, what are the I guess destinations in your country, in your state? You know, what's a good thing to do where you're from? You know, like the thing that you're known for. Interesting things that maybe we wouldn't have thought about. You know, and I've yet to see the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. I hear that if you unravel that sucker, it'll roll down all the way to Fargo, North Dakota. That's the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. It's in a little shrine under a makeshift pagoda. My email address is chris@pirillo.com, and if you'd like to talk tech with the rest of us, that's typically what we're doing. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.